Discover, Primary 3, Term 2. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hello everyone! Today, we start Chapter 1, Patterns of Changes, with a very fun lesson called A Litter of Kittens. Look carefully. Everything around us has a story of where it comes from. Origin means the source or the cause of something. For example, your parents are the origin of many things about you, like your eye color or your hair color. Everything changes over time. We can see this using a timeline, from when you were a baby until now, and even what you will do in the future. Let's meet a child named Sammy. At 1, he got his first teeth. At 2, he said his first words. At 3, he rode his bicycle. At 5, he went to school. And now, at 6, he is learning to play the guitar. All living things have parents, and they produce offspring. Human babies look like their parents, and kittens look like their mother cat. Traits are the characteristics that make you look and behave the way you do. Some traits you inherit from your parents. Some traits you learn as you grow. Inherited traits are passed from parents to children. For example, eye color, hair color, skin color, mouth shape, nose shape. You are born with these traits.
Enjoy studying the Discover book with Miss Samah.
I will. I love the Discover book.
Not inherited traits are not passed from parents. Instead, you learn them as you grow. For example, reading, writing, and riding a bicycle. Now, take a look in the mirror. Do you have the same eye color as your father or your mother? That is an inherited trait. But your ability to read this is a trait you learned yourself. Today, learned important words: origin, offspring, traits, inherited traits, not inherited traits. Remember, everything around us has an origin and changes over time. Observe, explore, and stay curious, because learning is everywhere. Hello everyone! Today, we start Chapter 1, Patterns of Changes, with a very fun lesson called A Litter of Kittens. In this lesson, we will learn about origins, timelines, parents and offspring, and different types of traits. First, what is an origin? Origin means the source or the cause of something. Your parents are the origin of many things about you. For example, your eye color or your hair color. Think for a moment. What is the origin of your eye color? Now, what is a timeline? A timeline shows events in order, over time. It helps us see how we change as we grow. Let's look at Sammy. At 1 year old, he had teeth. At 2 years old, he spoke his first words. At 3 years old, he rode a bicycle. At 5 years old, he went to school. At 6 years old, he is learning to play the guitar. What can you do now that you couldn't do when you were 4? Now, let's talk about parents and offspring. Offspring are the babies of living things. Kittens are the offspring of a cat. Children are the offspring of their parents. Have you noticed how babies look like their parents? This happens because of traits. Traits are characteristics. They make you look and behave the way you do. There are two types of traits. First, inherited traits. These are passed from parents to babies. You are born with them, like eye color, hair color, skin color, and nose shape. Second, not inherited traits. These are not passed from parents. You learn them as you grow, like reading, writing, and riding a bicycle. Now look in the mirror. Do you look like your mother or your father? That is an inherited trait. But your ability to read is not inherited. You worked hard to learn it. Great job today. Now you understand how patterns of change help us understand origins. Now listen, look, and answer. Which of the following is an example of an inherited trait? A. Reading skills. B. Riding ability. C. Eye color. B. Riding a bicycle. C. Eye color. That's right. Which tool is best used to see changes or events in order over time? A. A traits list. B. A mirror. C. A timeline. D. An origin chart. C. A timeline. That's right. Thank you for watching. You did a great job today.